Ladies and gentlemen, there's a saying that goes, when it rains, it pours. But does it really? Is there any validity or truth to that statement? Things happen, yeah, yeah. And it may seem like things keep happening over and over and over and over again, all at the same time. So in essence, yeah, I guess that statement is kind of true. When it rains, it pours. But how do you deal with it raining and pouring and a lot of crazy stuff going on at the same time? So this is what I like to say: control the controllables. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay. All right. So if you noticed, I'm going live way earlier than I normally do. New intro. Oh, just try something new. All right. So I'm going live much earlier than normal because when it rains, it pours. So I'm going to get into all of that. I'm actually going to repost this again at my normal time, which is 9 p.m. and go from there. But yeah, man, just trying to go back to my basics, go back to what's you know, what I did before. I had a couple of pointers on how I start, and I used to do it before. It was like, yeah, so yeah, so why don't you start talking and then do a little intro. And I was like, yo, you know what? I used to do that. Why did I stop? Right. All right. So, anyway, so today's topic, you know, oh, I'm sorry. I almost forgot. Welcome to the Ray Terry Project Podcast. I'm your host, Terrence. Yeah. All right. There we go. I got that out the way. And I see that nobody is on right now. It's okay. You guys can catch this later. And okay. So, this is my thing. I'm doing this early today because um during my entire 9 days off of work, 9 days, I did nothing for myself, nothing whatsoever. That's where the title "When It Rains, It Pours" comes from, and I say right and no, not necessarily. It's all about our mindset when life is life and when things are happening. Um, all of that is a factor. But so I'm going to do something for myself tonight. That's why I'm going coming on early, getting this out of the way. Not to say it like a bad thing though. I'm just getting it out because I made a promise to myself to make sure that this is getting done no matter what. Okay, so regardless of you guys are on or not, you can catch it later. I'm gonna go ahead and replay it later anyway. So just so if you're listening to it now, just act like you've and then you listening to it later. Just act like later is the first time you're listening to it. All right. So like I was saying, on my 9 days off, I did absolutely nothing for myself. I didn't travel. I didn't do any of that stuff because things were happening, and I'm just like, because of who I am, I'm just like, gonna make sure that this is done. This is blah 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 blah, and so it just seems like everything that was everything and everything was just happening, and I allowed it all to prevent me from doing something for myself. So I'm doing this early today because I'm going to go do something for myself, and I will definitely not be on at the time that I'm going to be on. But so this is just for the few, and this is not going to be long at all. So, like I was saying, when it we have this phrase, right, that we use called "when it rains, it pours," right? And the reason why I put dot 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 right on there is because let's talk about that for a second, right? So when we use that phrase, when it seems like things are happening one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, and we seem like we cannot catch a break whatsoever. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the way I felt this entire week, that I could not catch a break. I even feel like that right now. Like even before I came on to do this, I felt like, wow, like it just seems like so much is happening back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And it's like I just feel like I cannot catch a break. I can't breathe for a second. What in the world is going on? And then I said, yo, like literally, when it rains, it pours. And then I thought about that for a few seconds. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. How accurate is that really? When things happen, things always happen in succession anyway. It doesn't matter. You know, things are always happening. There's always a domino effect. One thing will affect the other, and that thing will affect the other thing, and that thing, in fact, will affect the other thing. I can't talk today. Tongue twisters. And the crazy thing about that, man, is like it's a part of life. It's life. This is lifing, and life is lifing like literally right after each other, like one event, next event, next event, next event. But I, if you allow yourself to fall into that little space of when it rains, it pours, and all that other stuff. Like everything has to literally do with your mindset, right? So if you fall into that space, because I'm like this, like listen, me doing this podcast, I am gonna be 100% honest, 100% truthful. This is my journey, and I'm gonna tell you the truth about me, whether it makes me look good, whether it makes me look bad, whether it makes me look like an idiot, whether it makes me look like the smartest dude on the planet. My commitment is just to be transparent and be naked. And because I know that I'm not the only one that goes through certain things in life. Meek, she shared with me, because I told her, I was like, I don't really feel like going live today because I just feel like everything is just happening like back to back to back. But she was just like, yo, but your podcast is about truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So everything can't always be like wonderful this, wonderful that. She's like, no, just your situation is just being honest. So just be honest about what's going on with you and how you're feeling and all that other stuff. And I found, like, since I've been doing this, like my honesty is actually helping other people, and other people like, oh man, I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm not the only one that's been going through this like this. So my journey, I'm just gonna be like completely transparent. Like today, I didn't feel like doing this at all. I did not. I did not. But I have to, because and another thing, and this, it makes it a little harder for me to come on when I don't feel like it, because I don't feel like talking, period. If you know me personally, you know that I don't like to talk. Like I could be in a room full of people and be all right in the corner being quiet. You'll see me over there. You just like, I'll be sitting there. I'm not interacting or anything like that, because that's just my thing. I just like being quiet. I just like sitting back and observing. So using my voice is a stretch to me. I know it doesn't sound like it. I know it sounds like this is just supernatural for me. I know it does, but this is actually a struggle for me to do this. But I know my voice is very important. I know my experiences is very important, because my experiences are going to help other people get through. So all right. So I'm going to get this out the way, probably 15 minutes tops, which means I got 5 minutes to go, right? 5 minutes. I'm only doing 15 minutes today, I think. I always say that. And then just end up just talking crazy, right? All right. So anyway, so like I said, like I was sitting there like driving. I was like, dang, man, there's something else happening. When it rains, it pours. And I was just like, but wait a minute. Is that actually true? Life is always life, and life is going to life in order. Is going to just do everything that it does, right? And then the crazy thing about life is I've found out, and this is my experience, that how you get through always has to do with your mindset. Things are always going to happen. And then I started thinking about times where it seemed like things just kept happening over and over and over and over and over again, right? But I was in a different mindset then. I was in a different space, so it didn't bother me as much. So I'm just letting you know this. that no matter what you go through, no matter how many, like how quickly or how like often it seems like things are just going left field for you, just understand that your mindset is what is going to get you, what's going to carry you through whatever the situation is. Your mindset is what's going to carry you through. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Um, if you do not renew your mind, if you do not change your mindset, that phrase, when it rains, it pours, is literally going to like bog you down. Like that, when it rains, it pours. That's literally going to be like what you carry. And I was carrying that all week, y'all. I'm being really honest. I've been carrying when it rains, it pours all week long because that's the way it seemed to me. It seemed like, oh my God, one thing after another, one thing, another thing. Like, oh my God. Like, even before I got to this microphone, I was like, another thing? This is crazy. Like, this makes no sense to me. But just being honest, man, it's my mindset of surrounding the things that happen, the things that are going left, things that are going right. It's my mindset. So it's like I've been struggling lately with my mindset of thinking things as though they were. And this is not a religious podcast whatsoever, y'all. But I am a Christian. I do subscribe to the Bible. But I would never push that on anybody because I'm just gonna be honest. I think everybody is free to think what they want and how they want. I'm not trying to convince you of any other thing. I'm just sharing my experience and what works for me. And so I just quoted a scripture from the Bible, but it's like, as a man thinketh, so is he. And I'm just like, whoa, I've been thinking all week, when it rains, it pours. So all week it's been raining. All week it's been pouring. Why? Because I've been thinking that all week. I've been thinking it rains, it pours. Yeah, you're right, Meek. I am sharing life principles that are in the Bible. You're right. You're right. And I've been thinking when it rains, it pours. Like, man, it's just all week. I just been feeling that. And then it just seemed like one thing after another, one thing after another, one thing after another. But I am 100% certain that if I would have thought about these experiences a little differently, if I would have like looked at these experiences from a different lens, I bet you I wouldn't have had the following experiences the way I've had them, only because you kind of attract what you give out. And I was giving out that when it rains, it pours. I've been giving that out all week. I've been giving it out all week instead of just be like, you know what? Let me control the controllables. The things that I can control, let me control that and not worry about the stuff that's out of my hands. I've been worrying about the stuff that's out of my hands and not controlling what I could control. So I'm going to say to y'all like this. Yeah, you're right, Meek. I wouldn't have experienced those things the same way. You're so right about it. But so my thing is focus. I know that you feel like when it rains, it pours. There is a little truth to that. When it rains, it does pour. But you can control your controllables. The things that are out of your, I'm talking good, dog. Here she go again with that nonsense. The things that are out of your control, don't worry about it. I am talking to myself right now. The things that are out of my control, I ain't gonna worry about that. You don't worry about the things that are not out, that are out of your control. Control your controllables. That's why I'm talking today. It says when it rains, it pours. ... Right? Question mark. And then it says control the controllables. Again, what is out of your hands? Don't worry about it. If it's out of your hands, don't worry about it. What is in your hands to mold and shape and make, that's what you worry about. Everything else is going to fall into place. I'm helping me right now. So I know that I wasn't the only one that was experiencing the rain, the pour this week, all last week. I know I'm not the only one that's experiencing that, but I had an epiphany I'm always having epiphanies up here, y'all. I had an epiphany, and my epiphany is, you know what? If you change the way you thought about what you were going through, you wouldn't have been experiencing it or feeling it the way that you've experienced or felt it. All right, guys. So I said I was only going to be up here for 15 minutes. It is now 16. I am going to do something for myself, and I will be back next week at my normal time. So listen, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m., I will be live. And then after the live, then I will upload it to what is that? YouTube. And I already told y'all last week why I don't like going live on YouTube, because I don't like the way it looks. It looks crazy. It looks all foggy and weird. I don't like that. And as much as it's settings that I tried to change on YouTube, there's somebody who's rich whose YouTube looks really stupid. So so it's not me. It's just I don't like the way YouTube looks. So my live goes up to YouTube after I'm done with live on Facebook. So every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. is when I go live. So I will see you guys next Tuesday. Bring a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. So when you guys finally catch this replay, right, I'm going to need you to like, I need you to share, I need you to engage in here. Put your comments in here. I know it's not live, but still put your comments in here, because now you're going to create some other topics for us to talk about next week. So everybody engage. So listen, I've been here for 17, almost 18 minutes now. I am leaving this right now because I'm going to go, like I said, do something for me real quick. And like I always say, thank you for your time. Time is the number one investment that you will never get a return on. And you indeed gave me 18 minutes of your life that you cannot get back. And I really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Thank you.